than love.
I'm Jack's best friend. I taught him how to tie a tie. I got him to the half-court game at the Y. I listened when he told me Cindy Crawford flirted with him at a party, and I pretended to believe him.
Excuse me, Mary Margaret. I mean, you know I love you dearly, but who died and left you a penis, huh?
In this scene, Susie Plaxton was supposed to hit Joel Murray with a rolled-up newspaper. But things got kind of ugly when she decided to go after her co-stars Jay Thomas and Charlie Robinson.
And as you know, you start fooling with tradition, the whole fabric of our society will fall apart.
All right, fine.
Let's go. Have it your way. All right,
Who died and left you a penis, you know?
Thank you.
One common marker.
What do you tell your parents you do, seriously? Oh, they're here tonight to see your performance. That's my boy. Oh.
Doesn't she seem to be enjoying this a little too much?
have your pinky little party. I'm going over with the girls. I've got a plan.
You. Hey, Mag, give me that paper.
Finally, Jay's had just about enough. I think I've got this figured out. The formula for a good blooper is simple. The harsher the physical injury to one person, the greater the enjoyment for the rest of us. Let's take a look at some folks who gave till it hurt.
I should be able to walk across the lake just by pushing along on these things. And see? And you can actually walk. And they are so stable.
Even a 16-year-old doctor with malpractice insurance can mess up. Take a look at these outtakes from Doogie Howser, M.D.
Just remember, Dr. Hauser, we educate. We don't condone.
Didn't give him much choice, did you?
Oh, you're just jealous because I caught a fish and you didn't.
Vinny.
I've always loved you. This is great, Jack. Male molding. Wanda?
Have you ever seen a game called Zelda, Bobby? Yeah. You ever seen grown men naked? No, I'm sorry.
Joey Douglas was just a fighter. He was an artist. He should have won the middleweight champion.
You know, they say that to be a professional reporter, you have to have a nose for news and an appetite for danger. Let's see.
Will you be going away again, Ian?
Nope.
You plan to stay at home now for a bit, Ian?
Yeah.
Are you sorry for the...
Let's look at that again. He's okay. Okay, let's see. We need a place to do a broadcast. There's a train scheduled in about 10 seconds. Here's an idea. Let's stand on the tracks.
probably think country, western singing, and tennis have very little in common, but Mindy says the feeling she got from singing in front of an audience is the same feeling she gets when she wins a tennis match.
When doing a report on the hazards of toxic waste, it's always important to handle the material with utmost respect.
Doug? Okay. Doug, this is in my crotch. Doug, this is killing me. Doug, this is killing me.
Now, here's a classic example of journalists missing the real story.
The owners will still be at fault.
A monopoly supplier, but almost everybody was affected by the...
And how about these uninvited interruptions?
A bug flew up my nose. It did. Like in the middle of the stand, like right at the end, and I thought, can you see it? I thought it's going so well. Oh, man. Yuck.
All right, back it up. See if I can pick it up. Is it off? Where'd it go? Ray.
In this clip, watch how interested the newscaster is in the rich cultural heritage of this traditional Chinese celebration.
Firecrackers going off along the side streets as well.
Well, believe it or not, Barbara, these firecrackers are supposed to frighten away evil demons.
Listen, if that's the case, we are in good shape for next year.
So, what happens when somebody has an epileptic fit? Well, let's take a look at this model.
Viewers of this local talk show tune in for lively discussions of important issues.
I think it's a big advantage for the American market, the manufacturers.
Unfortunately, the moderator has fallen into a deep sleep. Luckily, a quick-thinking stagehand drops a book.
Now, there is something that I read about.
Don't go away. There's lots more rabbinical hijinks when we come back.
I'll put him down for some more. Can you see the mouth?
Yes, I can.
Look at the mouth.
It's the first drunk we've ever had on Nationwide. Thank you very much for introducing us to it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Coming up next on the world's funniest outtakes, Alan Alda's classic cut-ups from MASH. More Married with Children mistakes. Dustin Hoffman's first screen test. Plus, Baywatch babes flubbing up in their bathing suits when we come back.
Welcome back to the world's funniest outtakes. As we all know, the critically acclaimed sitcom Dave's World features the most professional, competent cast of actors in the industry, making the outtakes you're about to see quite possibly the rarest in the world. So, enjoy. You may never see anything like this again.
I'm the husband. I'm the husband.
Hey, don't be too... Don't... Hey,
Oh, that? Husband. I'm the husband.
hey, don't be too hasty, Ken. His last shoot.
I agree. Lovers? How... Lovers? I can't believe you told them you were... I have the private school bills to pay. You two? I don't know. We're going to have to do it. From where?
I've had my own magical moments on Dave's World.
Don't worry about me.
No, Miss Pfeiffer. My wife is upstairs. You know, unpredictability is the key to any quality outtake, especially when the words don't fit the picture. Take, for example, this clip of the guy who went on TV to instill public confidence in the high-tech Euro-tunnel project.
Will show the immense amount of preparation, design, research, testing by all sorts of extremely competent, reputable workers.
Would you like more information about work experience? Well, phone this number.
One thing about this business of self-sufficiency, you learn to handle animals. You learn not to be frightened with them. I mean, I've put my thumb already in a ram's mouth, so I think the secret must be to understand animals. That's the great secret.
You're watching Mastermind, the most challenging quiz show in the world. Let's listen now as Philip Warmby receives his first big question.
Your name, please? Philip Warmby. Occupation? Oh, no. It's clerical officer.
Ooh, I guess now we're in the bonus round. The intent of this BBC News broadcast was to demonstrate the readiness and competence of the awe-inspiring American Army.
2nd Airborne Division of the American Army are among the toughest troops in the world, held at what is known as instant readiness. Not 1 week's notice, not 1 day's notice, not 1 hour's notice to go into action, but instant notice. The American Army has a long history of arriving just in time to save the day, and it goes right back to the days of the earliest settlers, when traditionally the cavalry would gallop over the hill with buglers blowing and colours flying to save the settlers. And the American soldier has always been an integrated part of the American way of life.
You know, speaking of the military, one of the highest rated and most critically respected sitcoms in television history was MASH. We were very fortunate to obtain some of these rare outtakes featuring the show's star, Alan Alda. Take a look.
And go.
The hell is the next one?
All right, that does it. The irresistible force is about to polish... There he goes again. All right, that does it. The irresistible force is about to polish off the... Stop laughing at me, for hit my face. The irresistible force is about to polish off the immovable object.
If you're like most folks, you love sports. You love everything about them. Football games on a Sunday afternoon, and the smell of hot dogs and cigars at the old stadium, athletes with fungus on the tile floor of the locker room. But better than that, you love sports bloopers. Well, take a look at these. The first one demonstrates the dangers of purchasing your equipment at one of those discount places.
And the apparatus is correct.
Now, if we examine that outtake again, you'll notice something very puzzling. The man helping the jockey has just finished lodging his thumb in a very embarrassing place. What he does next just doesn't seem logical. Tell me if this isn't a golfer's worst nightmare.
Look at this putt. This is for real, folks. See, he hit his tee shot too long on this short par 3. Now watch it come back. That's where the pin has been cut on previous days, down in the bottom there. This is a golfer's worst nightmare.
Well, watch it, Raj.
Now, yeah,
no lump on it now.
Bob it. Give it another look.
Really caused the problems, and it's
Now, the kid in this clip looks like he took a bad fall. But don't worry. Here comes the highly trained medical personnel.
see him holding himself down. Oh, yeah. John Gambler's man trying to get there in a hurry, and he probably needs some treatment in a minute.
And here comes another doctor with a second opinion. During the course of an accident, race car driver Nigel Mansell suffered a painful bruise to the head. So, what's the first thing this sports interviewer does?
First of all, will you carefully and slowly take your hat off? You've got an enormous bump on your head. Can you let them see it?
I don't know whether... There you go.
Right up there. Oh, I'm sorry.
Stay tuned for more of the world's funniest outtakes when we come back.
No raise, right, Al?
That's right, Peg. But just to show you that every dark cloud has a silver bullet, Gary put both me and Griff on commission.
Commission? So you mean our
Coming up on the world's funniest outtakes, what you weren't supposed to see on the X-Files. Living single gets awfully crowded.
I always want to do something freaky sneaky.
At least in the bedroom. Plus, another classic screw-up from Cheers.
One of the big surprise hits of this season is the Fox sitcom Living Single. And in this outtake from that show, actor John Henton decided to stray from the script and hide a big surprise under the sheets for co-star Kim Coles.
Ooh, that was great. I always want to do something freaky sneaky.
Opie, sweetheart, wake up.
In this scene, Kim Coles is once again the victim of a bedtime practical joke by John Henton.
Oh, I got you now, baby. Come on.
That's one for the outtakes. Okay.
You know, when I think of the good things in the world, I think of the innocent wonderment on a child's face, or stallions running free on the open prairie. But, hey, I can dream all I want. Here's a couple of pain-in-the-butt kids and some unruly horses.
Tonight begins the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. Standing by at his home, live with instant eye, is Rabbi Bradley Bliefeld of the Baltimore Hebrew congregation with his family, and now they will light the first light of Hanukkah. Rabbi Bliefeld, this is Richard Scher, and we'd like you to explain the significance of Hanukkah, if you would.
This begins our 8-night festival of...
Now watch how the cameraman tries to get the troublemaker out of the frame.
Years ago.
That should work, right?
We of the Jewish community share in the concern for the hostages being held in Iran, for they too are suffering under a contemporary form of religious tyranny.
And in this touching news story, a woman and her child are being interviewed about something traumatic, which occurred during the otherwise joyous Christmas season.
How traumatic was the whole event?
Very traumatic. It was the worst experience of my life.
Now listen to the sensitive way she deals with the problem.
Think of no presents. Just take the wipe them off your face. Well, go on then, you go in there. Go on.
No,
I'll tell you now. You keep looking, you're out.
Here's something I never knew. Horses can often throw their voices to make it look as if the trainer is actually doing the speaking.
I'm doing very well.
Notice how far this horse walks to upstage the guy.
There are sides that I could perhaps be critical on their business as well. I'm sure that if they tried hard, they could actually produce Chris more cheaply. Oh, you're in the way now. I think first of all we have to put it into perspective and really consider the numbers. It's very easy to start getting carried away when you really do something. First of all, we need to take out those that we can explain for other reasons, and then consider whether there really is a larger number of followers than we would expect.
Here's a clip from a British movie, Prisoner of Zenda. Apparently, the horse in the middle ate some spicy oats.
The train is due on the hour.
I'll ride alone to the border. What harm can I come to now?
The devil is this.
100 miles away from here by now. Let me leave your retainer as I came. Unescorted, an English gentleman of not much wealth or position or... We've run a good course, Travis.
Thanks to you, we've defeated traitors and set the king firm on his throne. Of the morning.
Goodbye, old friend. Let's say au revoir. That's great. It's been an adventure, hasn't it? I shan't look back.
And now, here's another outtake from Cheers. In this scene, George Wendt, Paul Wilson, and Rhea Perlman are supposed to pile into a closet and hide from John Ratzenberger. Unfortunately, the producers didn't have all the logistics worked out.
Oh, he's on the throne!
Everybody take a deep breath. Oh, my God! Oh, you scared the hell out of me. You know, there's not enough room.
Don't go away, because when we come back, I'm going to purposely flub a line and say a dirty word.
This peace walk marks the Feast of the Holy Innocents, in remembrance of how King Herod slaughtered the babies of Bethlehem in hopes that Jesus was among them, all for the sake of securing his power. That one's not going to work.
Coming up on the world's funniest outtakes, our local weather broadcast is hit with a warm front. Dustin Hoffman gets up close and personal. And I know it's hard to believe, but the actors on Baywatch actually make mistakes, too.
Welcome back to the world's funniest outtakes. You know, apart from those National Geographic shows where you get to see the occasional topless woman, I'd have to say that the second best educational programming on TV would have to be Baywatch.
Summer.
In this outtake from the show, watch how Susan Anton and Nicole Eggert are suddenly upstaged by a confused extra. Let's be honest, guys. If you had the chance, you'd do the same thing. Well, now, here's another clip from that show featuring a confused Pamela Anderson.
Sorry, I don't know how I missed it. That was my water.
Damn right. You know, funny you can see well enough to flirt with me and every other guy on the beach. Girl on the beach. Here's that. Here's that.
Take a look at this classic outtake. They say once you learn to ride a bike, you never forget. But the actor in this scene appears never to have learned in the first place. Finally, the director came up with a stroke of genius. Walk the bike. Earthquakes in Los Angeles, the devastating eruption of Mount Pinatubo, floods in the southeastern U.S. Most experts agree that our weather is drastically changing, but officials at the National Weather Bureau are curiously tight-lipped when asked about the connection between these changes and the odd occurrences we've uncovered at local weather centers.
Take a look at the satellite picture. Now, as these two fronts meet or clash, steady, or collude, as it were, we didn't feed it tonight, did we?
Normal, 45 and 18 for this time of year. 74 back in 1916 is our high. And -7 was our low back in 1880. Wow, this is really fun. Any idea what's going on over there, Joe?
Well, it's time now to join Michael Fisk at the BBC Weather Center to find out what's in store for us on the weather front.
What's in store for you is a big problem for me because my computer, of course, is playing up at the moment, but don't taking notice of what's happening behind me.
Here's that good news forecast for you. Mostly cloudy, low 53, but northwest winds are going to start moving those clouds out tonight, so when you wake up in the morning, it'll be the Chicago Cubs and the Houston Astros, and that's the kind of forecast I always look for personally.
Then on the other hand, in the north of Scotland, very, very different indeed. Much, much colder. The temperature at best around about 12 or 13 degrees. It's pretty actually, we haven't still got the viewers of Southeast Asia with us because that chart behind me is showing the very strong wind across Japan.
Famous magic act, ladies and gentlemen. We call that the disappearing weather graphic. Are we still on the air? We are.
We have 21.5 inches of snow, 60 hours of snow. Is it too late to hang around? Yes, look.
This wasn't the satellite. This wasn't the satellite.
Can we go back to the other one for just a minute? No.
You get the feeling this is the most action this guy's seen in years?
Well, it doesn't matter.
During this broadcast, somebody forgot to turn off the sound in the director's booth.
Late on Saturday, probably more towards Saturday night.
Look out! Don't leave now just because you've already seen the Baywatch clips. We'll be right back.
Baker, take 1, now 67. I warn you, Butler. I'm 29 years old. I came here at the age of 21 with great hope and a lot of love for the business. I did do a play called A Cook for Mr. General, where I was a walk-on, but nevertheless a creative one. I was off-Broadway last season in a play called The Journey of the Fifth Horse, in which I received great critical acclaim and the Best Actor Award, which I felt was only forthcoming. I mean, it had to be. Since then, I've had nothing but bad luck.
Coming up next on the world's funniest outtakes, you'll get a special behind-the-scenes look at what the X-Files' Gillian Anderson will do for her art.
Chew on this. The average American...
Thanks for coming back. This next clip is from Fox's popular and creepy X-Files show. Now, in this scene, Agent Scully, played by actress Gillian Anderson, was supposed to show her boldness by eating a live cricket.
Thank you.
No sleight of hand my uncle once taught me. He was only an amateur magician, but he was still better than those two.
Like she said, she was supposed to palm the bug to pull off the illusion. But when the cameras rolled for the take, Jillian showed she was a real trooper and ended up actually eating the bug. Listen for the crew's reaction.
Only Mark.
And just a hair up on the jar. There we go. Ready. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's enough mistakes for one special. Remember, the next time you see a human error, a mix-up, a misread, or a flub, maybe you'll think of me and the entire Fox network. And just smile. So, for the world's funniest outtakes, I'm Harry Anderson. Good night, everybody.
Now, stay tuned for The Simpsons, next.
I've never seen an audience that looks this good. Has anybody ever been to a Night Court or Days World? When our audiences, when you all have clothes on, you're all actually facing this way. You're reasonably sober. Isn't this amazing? Making the outtakes you're about to see quite possibly the rarest in the world. So, enjoy. Okay, we won't do it that way. We won't do it that way. Can you hear my butt squeaking? I can hear my butt squeaking.